And we are live. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy December 9th. Happy almost end of 2024.
Oh, happy Monday, Matt. I'm
Yeah.
so excited about this week.
Because it's because of the pre-market action.
Oh yeah. Nowadays it's like the Sunday night action, like the Sunday at 8 p.m. action on Robinhood.
Yeah. Pretty soon everything's going to be 24 hours, I think. So that'll be exciting.
Crazy, but maybe it'll be good too. Because it
At
won't
least
be
not weekends though, right? It's not going to be like crypto.
Go ahead. Yeah, there won't be such fits and starts Monday mornings and Friday afternoons.
Yeah. So people want to do Tesla first, but I already have my Palantir chart up first. So I'm going to do Palantir since nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody even mentioned it in the chat right now, but but it's kind of a big deal, guys. I stopped using linear scale fibs on Palantir last week just because it's just continuing to melt up. And look what it's doing pre-market. If you zoom in here, it's going to open up above my log scale 1.272. So ladies and gentlemen, this could possibly be your new support zone, 78.13. So what was once a possible resistance, it is gapping up above a major important log scale fib, which is very important to notate. So I think this could be your new support zone, 78. So what once was down in the 60s as support could now be the high 70s as your support. So the melt up continues, possibly even up to $100, as long as this $78 zone continues to hold. So very, very beautiful.
That is beautiful and crazy because you were calling for $100 maybe in 2025, and
it's not even 2025.
It's not even 2025 yet.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Do you have a Palantir chart or no?
Let's just stick with Matt's Palantir chart. I don't think. Let me just take a quick look at mine. I don't. No. There's nothing here. It doesn't. You're here be monsters. You're off the map on my chart.
Yeah, it's off the charts, literally. Yeah, let me go to just do the indices, see how they're doing pre-market before we jump into Tesla. Okay, flat for the SPY, flat basically QQQ, and 240 is the target. It was still 244 is the target for IWM. It's at 240 pre-market. So will this be the week to close above the previous all-time high? I don't know, but it does look better and better. It's just building a base at a higher level, and sooner than later, it's going to break. So with that said, Tesla, you want to go first, Tracker? You got to share your.
I do love looking at your IWM there, and how it just like there's like this enormous gap of space where it just goes from the 100% to the 1.272. Like it's just this huge gap of like.
Oh yeah. It's going to blast off. It's going to, once it breaks, it's going to blast off.
I love it. So. I'm excited for, everything's all right. Sure. Go and pull up my Tesla. I apologize, guys. I'm still.
Well, you got to.
Oh, I do have to share the thing. I got to actually push the button. It doesn't just do it like magically, clairvoyantly. And I apologize, guys. I'm still in Grand Rapids, and I'm still using my friend's Wi-Fi. And so I'm still going to cut in and out. So I will try to speak more slowly in case a lot of my words drop. Here is this magical Tesla chart that basically this is a collaboration between Cantonese cat, looked at this fractal, GAN, some retracement fibs to it. And so then I took Cat's fractral here and Matt's retracement fibs, and I simply did the rest of the extrapolation to come up with 487.03. If we got a perfect matchup of this action that we had in 2021 to 2022, and it happens again right now, then, and just like Palantir, just like DXYZ, Destiny on Friday, it just kept melting up. And of course, you know, whenever I've drawn these triangles in the past, once price jumps out of this triangle, the target is going to be way higher than where the price started compressing here. So, you know, this is actually just the beginning, I think, for Tesla. But anyway, let's see. So look for 487.03. My TSLL chart, which I'll just pull up real quick here. So, my TSLL chart, this is it right here, predicts that the wave 3964, which is exactly, it's like 47% higher than price is. No, that's the weekly chart. So 8 hours. Yeah, it's 41% higher, 40% higher than it is right now. That'll be 20% higher in Tesla. So then you just, and I draw a 20% line from here. Oh, I gotta keep going. And that gives me about 480.28 right now. I had 481 last week, but you know, it's the same ballpark. So somewhere between 41 and 47 is where my TA is calling for Tesla to top out right now, or you know, that's where it's going to hit resistance next. Who knows how much it will retrace? Except maybe Matt does. If he's got a level, a GAN level. So what do you think, Matt?
Well, I don't have a GAN level. I don't have a GAN level there, but one thing I want to show is, well, first I got to show my screen, and there we go. So the most important linear scale fib has been cracked. It closed the week above last Friday, and now we're seeing follow through continuation towards all-time highs. But regardless, I still don't like to chase. The opportunities to get in were numerous. All the back tests, they were countless opportunities to get in. So now that it's breaking levels, people are interested in it, which is the incorrect time to be interested in it. But I think what I pointed out once before last week is the Bollinger Bands, and it keeps on writing it as support. So you can see once it broke out above on November 4th, it just kept riding the upper level of the Bollinger Band as support. And last week was no exception. It did open below it, but it was able to push back above it. So that means probably strong continuation, right? I think the possibility to go higher and higher is there, but could we see a pullback? I think it is possible, but I don't think it needs to come back down to the 378 right there. I think maybe if it did pull back at all, maybe the high 380s possibly. And that's just pulling numbers out of my hat. So we'll see. There's really no levels right there. And you can see my linear GAN level. It got smashed through. It got broken. And one thing I wanted to point out is this wick right here is 384. So maybe that could be a retest, right? The 384 previous wick before it really wants to go higher. So not sure if it will. It could be just all-time highs this week. You know, maybe get up to the 414s, maybe the 420.69. I don't know. Right?
But the excitement is palpable.
Yeah, I don't know if it needs to retest this level or not, the 358. But no matter what, this chart has been bullish for a long time. Countless opportunities of backtest down here, and even more recently down here. But what we see now is probably continuation to all-time highs up to maybe the 460s, where the 45-degree angle is, maybe even 480s, depending on time. And then, yeah, the next level on this linear scale would be way up here at 700. So that is looking more and more likely, especially now that it's on top of this orange level again. This is looking like it's a previous resistance flipped back to a support, which is the ultra bullish thing for Tesla. And I only see good things to come.
Yeah. So, I just want to note, looking at your chart, right, that we don't touch a thing. If you look back in 2021, you can see that there's a gap. There's a couple gaps in there. Then, yeah, it went back and retested those gaps later. But it'd be interesting to see how high Tesla runs before it makes its first gap, and then how high it goes before it makes its second gap. And then if those gaps then kind of give us a feel for if this is going to be where the consolidation is going to ultimately be testing back into. So I'll be watching for that. That'll just be kind of cool to look for.
Yeah, well, it is a gap up this morning, so it'll be interesting to see.
Weekly gaps.
Yeah. Weekly gaps. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it does need to retrace levels or not.
Yeah, I'd love to see just get over that the one that's above the 45-degree, the green angle, and then see it gap up to the arc. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think the possibility to just keep on doing what Palantir is doing is there for Tesla once it breaks into all-time highs. All right.
Should we look at Nvidia? We used to be we do Palantir.
Well, there was some news. There was some news China. Wasn't there China news or something? I don't know. But who cares? I don't care about the news. I care about the charts. And yeah, I can do Nvidia. And what I see for Nvidia is essentially ranging, right? This is all I see. My linear scale is telling a story. The resistance has been the 140s. It did go up to an important fib there. I don't have it on the screen, the fib, but the 152 was an important fib. But now the 138.92 is your conversion line right there. So this has the possibility just to continue to stay in a range and be boring. And who cares? If it comes back down to levels, then I'll pay attention to it more. But right now it's just ranging in between levels. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot the reason why we weren't covering Nvidia, because it was boring.
Yeah.
I still it's going to 182. Nothing's changed. I still see my next target above is 182.63. I don't know how long it'll take to get there, but that's where I see it going next for this 123.6% fib extension at 182.63. Should we talk about Tiger?
Yeah, I got a Tiger chart real quick. So Tiger on my chart, it's gapping up as well. And the important number here is the 697, and that is your 200-week moving average. So it looks like it has potential to gap up above it right there. And if that's the case, this could possibly be the new support. But all it was doing the whole time was breaking out and back testing the levels. Nobody knew how low the back test would go, whether it'd go back down to the 50-week moving average or not. But around this 382 was the zone. It wanted to stay around that zone. So 625 was a good opportunity to stay within the buy zone. But now that it's gapping up, I want to see if this support holds. I'm not convinced yet, but right now the support does sit at 625, and your major resistance zone is going to be in the upper 8s up here and lower 9s. So we'll see. But it's more and more bullish, but I want to see it stay above the 200-week. Stay the whole week above it.
Yeah. Did you say the major resistance was the $8.84?
Yeah, 884 all the way up to maybe the 990s up here, the conversion line. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was of course it cut out. You're cutting out on me just like I'm cutting out on you.
Nice.
All right. Here is my Tiger chart. I liked the stock back in 2020. I was trading it with so did the whole ElliotWaveTrader.net group. Where the Alden and Zach Manis, and I was learning all this stuff with them back then. And look back here, 2020 to 2021. That's when it hit its all-time high of $38.50. Then after that was an ABC retrace. Well, it wasn't even an ABC retrace. It was just like a ABC collapse as China started to close its markets, and the worst of the COVID set in, and the FTX crisis and all that. Anyway, market just looked really bad. Trade had been sitting down here in this bull, but now we're starting to maybe climb back out of the bull here. And so if you just look back to the left, I know this is really crazy. I'm sorry it's so crazy. I've got a couple of different Fibonacci retraces. So going from this all-time low, not the all-time low, from the most recent low of $2.31, tracing back up to this high of $29.93. Let me pull these out like this. This set of fibs right here. So it's basically going to go to maybe a I think I've got 50%. I'm kind of thinking the A is done and the B is done, and now it's making a C back up. It did almost a 50%, almost a 16.18%. So then the opposite, all that pressures it up to this 88.2% for 26.47. That's kind of it. That is this version. The smallest version is 26.47. If it becomes an impulsive 5 waves up, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That 5th wave takes us up to in the way $33.10 for the 238.2% fib extension. So, and then there's a larger degree ABC from the all-time high to this low that we had in the middle, in the interim. And that takes us to 96. So that's 3 different targets. I'll be watching this really carefully because I just bought 10,000 shares of it this morning because a cat said so. Said it might be a good idea. Might be time. So yeah, I'll be watching this to try to see, do we go to 1425 first, or if it goes past 1425, then I'll be looking for it to here at 26.47. That's it. If we don't get if it doesn't retrace back down to 980, but if it does, then I'll know. So I'll just follow the impulsive fibs. So it goes 1423, 968, and then 2149. But skip to the end. The really cool thing is that going from an 8-hour chart for prices right now, if it does the thing, then just see wave top at 26.47 is a 270% increase from where we are right now. If it only goes as high as my wave 1 top, then it sort of basically retests this high right here to 14.25. That's a 101% increase from where price is right now. So, double your money just on that alone. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yeah, I see a request for MSTR, and I'm just going to continue to show my daily chart for MSTR and show you that the Ichimoku is the baseline here, 381.91. That is acting as support still, and even the conversion line up top is trying to be kind of a supportive zone too. But what I really pay attention to is the momentum, and I can see ever since it really broke out of the cloud here, I think what it's really doing is just maybe buying time to maybe want to touch the cloud, maybe just go sideways until end of the month possibly, and then possibly go higher after that. So don't really expect something marvelous from MicroStrategy just right yet. And the main reason is because Bitcoin is stuck at a very important resistance level, and I'll just show that. I talked about it on my Patreon last night for Bitcoin, but I'll share it with everybody here. Yeah, right at the weekly candle close, I did my Sunday night review, and I told them, guess what, guys? The 1.618 on linear scale is your resistance level, but more importantly, you switch to log scale, and it was nailed, the 1.272, 103.611 perfectly last week. It got up to 103.647, so it already hit the log scale resistance, the first level. So I'm not sure if I expect that to break this week or next, or maybe even this month. So if that's the case, then that means MicroStrategy might just go sideways and be boring. So there could be better opportunities with focusing on more stocks with momentum in the meantime. But this could be good for accumulation, right? Accumulation for the next leg higher. So this could just be slow and steady for some time until MicroStrategy is really ready to build this base at a higher level and then go higher.
There's one interesting thing I wanted to show about MicroStrategy. Where is it? Oh, it's because it's on the MSTR chart. Oh, yeah. Let me show my MSTR chart real quick. Just an interesting fact. MSTR hit its all-time high when Bitcoin was just about to reach 100,000, and then it fell back. And now it's interesting. I think it's just building a base to move higher. And as Matt said, it might take until the end of the month. I'm patient. I'm patiently holding all my MSTX. I think, yeah, looking at this, maybe I have to move this out. Yeah, I've been using this tool. I love this tool. Yeah, it's like Friday, December 27th now. Like if it just kind of stays on the outside of all, maybe even that. Yeah, maybe the end of the year.
Yeah, I just see, I honestly see MSTR stuck between like the 380s to the 440s. That's what I see MSTR stuck at. So, yeah, if Bitcoin goes back to 102, 103, then MicroStrategy probably go back to like 430, 440. But I just don't know if they're ready to break out of this range yet. So.
All right, fair enough. About this morning, I should show DXYZ.
Yeah, they're talking about that. I was just gonna say your DXYZ chart.
All right, here's my embarrassing.
You've been tracking this one very well.
Yeah, except that I called for it to top out of the 76.4 at 56.65, and I said, well, what we ought to do is we should sell half of it here and see if I'm down to the 382 at 41.62. And what did it do? It just kept running. And you know what I did? Sold it all. I sold it all. Don't know why I sold it all. Why didn't I just follow my own TA? And it just kept running. It ran another like 30% higher after I sold it. So, shame on me for not listening to my own advice. Yeah, it looks like it peaked out at the 123.6% fib. And I'm wondering if it isn't because my mistake was right. It did 50%, then 236 was wave one, no matter 1 and 2. And with a bottom of 236, then that sends it to 123.6, which means that the test back will be 76.4% for the support test typically. And then it will run to the 223.6. So why do I have 250 there? Just off the top of my head, I think it would do. Let me color this one differently. Let's make this really dark and my favorite color, blue. So initially, I would think it would follow this blue line. So it comes back to 56.65. I'm just going to delete that. And then runs up to 114.54. Now, what I also have got here is if it, I was thinking if this was all wave one and it comes back to 56.65, should I just throw out these 5 waves and count this as a wave 1, wave 2. I don't know. It's right now the main thing is don't chase DXYZ higher. It could go to 80, 95 to 130.2, but I don't think it will, based on it coming off of the 23.6. It should just go to the 123.6. Come back down to as low as 56.65 for the 76.4% fib extension, and then 114.54. That's all I'll say about that right now. This black one is a possibility that we'll have to see if it develops or not.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my DXYZ. Don't chase it. Look for a pullback.
All right, I will do Coinbase. I see people talking about MSTX and ConL, but I'm going to focus on just the underlying asset, and I'll leave the derivatives to my Patreon people. But I know you like to track those TSLL and MSTX and ConL and everything, but I'm just going to talk about Coinbase specifically right now. And
please,
yeah, so Coinbase here, it's pulling back a little bit just because Bitcoin pulled back a little bit, but I think it's really looking to build a base on a higher level. And we can see maybe like even the bodies of like these candles here, like the previous highs, maybe it wants to try to build a base on top of that. So maybe 330, 331, 332, that is going to be your new support zone, possibly for a push towards 400. And I think 400 is going to happen sooner than later. And remember, Coinbase, it's not in the same league as MicroStrategy, because MicroStrategy is only Bitcoin, but Coinbase is all the altcoins. So if the altcoins are doing a lot better, then Coinbase is also going to make a lot more revenue. So that means Coinbase can go up while MicroStrategy just stays sideways. So this is looking very, very possible to build a base on top of the 330 zone, or its continuation to go to the upper 390s, maybe 400.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes that ConL look pretty good.
Yeah, if you want to look at your ConL chart or MSTX,
sure. Yeah. Let's go to the weekly ConL chart. How have I been doing? Looks like something got moved here. 8-hour chart. Oh yeah, 2 for the wave 3. And then, so it's headed for 136.55 next is where I see it going next. And I try to sketch out like a minor 5 waves up to it. This may or may not hold up. Feel free to take let me just move this air out of the way. You can take a screenshot in a second. Let me just pull this to the side. So these smaller fibs correspond to how it builds up into this finishing out. So this is 30-degree wave 3, all wave 3 finishing up here. Wave 4 pull back to 103.57, and then ultimately, hopefully, this will go all the way to 222.88. This hasn't changed since this hasn't changed since early or mid-November. Same chart, and you get the MCDX plus is looking very good on an 8-hour base retail. And there you go. That's my ConL TA for you. Just exactly the numbers you see here on the screen. 136.55 down to 103.57 up to well, that's days, 342 days, but it's $222.88. And then let me go to STX. And then this one, I'm looking for a payday at $235.92 next. And it's just a matter of, but if it does the 74.382, the 235, 155, 365 to 85, and then 575.43. And again, this hasn't changed in a while either. So Take a screenshot if you want, but if you got the screenshot from last week, it's exactly the same, except just now prices moved one more tick over to the right. And that is it. That's my CONL and MSTX charts for you guys.
All right. And I see so many people requesting SMCI, so I will jump to that one right now. And yeah, SMCI, I told people, I told my Patreon too last Friday that once there's a weekly candle close back above the 100-week moving average, it would be like nothing ever happened. So as you can see, before that news came out, before I went down to test all this liquidity down here and the support down here, it was maintaining the 100-week moving average, and it probably would have maintained that if that news didn't come out. But the news did just push it down to its symmetrical support, the 45-degree angle. So therefore, it did just test where it should have tested the whole time. And that V bottom is now looking like this is back to where it was before everything melted down. And even better is the daily chart. It looks like it's gapping up to go above the 100-day and the daily cloud. So maybe $46, $45 could be your new support. And I think it has potential now to flip that cloud to a support, possibly, and gain higher. But the most important thing is just stay above this $42. And I think if that happens, the 100-week moving average, this can just continue in the direction of all this resistance above in the 60s and 70s above.
All right, let me give you a comparative analysis. You'll pull up my chart again for me, Matt. So basically, we're just looking backwards in time to the last high that we had up here at $122.90, and then to this low of $17.25, and then just an ABC retrace. 382, 236, 618 takes us to $82.54. So you're here at about 57.61, back to $42.18, then up to $82.54. Look at this 236, 382, 618 right there. And then I've got a hypothetical. If it does play out exactly that way, I did like a little ABC retrace in here and then mapped out how it would go from there. So if those happen and we get exactly this retrace back to here, we'll see it go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to $200.63, firmly in the stock category. This might just become one of those stocks that swings big, high, then low, then high, then low, then high, then low. So we'll keep an eye out for that over the coming years. But yeah, there you go. That's my SMCI, what do you call it? Differential diagnosis, as Dr. House would demand from his doctor team.
Let's see here. What else we got? Oh,
I love House. That was a great show.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen an episode of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. ACHR. Somebody is requesting that from your end.
Yeah, ACHR. I called this one out when it saw it. I've been watching, or no, somebody asked me about it. I said, oh yeah, look at that. When it dropped down here to $6.26, I said, that looks like a really good, like a nice 1-2, or in this case, or 3-4. And I went back to its history. I said, okay, here's 1-2, not almost a 38.2, just like we're talking about something else here just a second ago. Down to the 236, which takes it to the 123.6, which it did up here to $10.07. Then back to this, I expected a 76.4% retrace. It got a little bit deeper than that, but it also didn't quite get all the way to the 38.2 here either. So it actually did a 61.8% retrace. And from there, I said, well, that's it. It's not going to go any lower. And I said, buy a bunch of this, and if you buy this too, you'll make money, and you make enough money to subscribe to me for only $2 a month. So that was my sirens call, all the other gamblers out there and traders to follow me. Anyway, long story short, the wave 5 for this tops out at $15.94, which from where price is trading right now is another 89% higher to the and maybe it happens. This was 12 on Friday. Now it's 9 days and 8 hours. So in about 10 days, 10 calendar days, this stock could hit $15.94. There you go. And then after that, some other stuff could happen, but let's wait and see how high this goes first before I tell you that the stock could eventually go to $26.61. Anyway, that's all. That's my HR.
No. All right. I'm trying to catch up to some of the other ones. Oh, I see Soxel. Yeah, the 3X ETF. No, it's the 3X semiconductor. And I do have a chart for that, and I can show you what's really happening, and it's just lost a lot of momentum, and it broke below all of this previous support. Now it's even below the 100-week moving average, the 2978. So essentially, its support is here, 2873, the 618 fib. So if that continues to hold, it has a chance to build a base and go higher. But if it ever breaks again and flips to resistance, it could go much lower. But I think there's these 3X bulls, they really don't like when things go down a little or even sideways. And that's what we've just seen on the semiconductors. A lot of them haven't really done anything. So since they don't do anything, this 3X leverage just goes down. And I think right now you just got to be cautious with it because there's no catalyst for like the Nvidias or the AMDs to really rocket up just yet. But they are getting closer and closer to support. So I think it is looking better and better for price. And speaking of that, I can just talk about AMD real quick too. And also AMD, it is going back down to its 100-week too. Right there, the 131. So I think that's really the next support target. It's never touched it since it broke out above. Well, it broke out above, then it back tested it here. But since 2023, it's never tested it again. So that could be a possibility, 131.74. And I think it's just in a range. And if things stay in a range, it's not going to be good for Soxel. So this is just that 3X leverage is going to keep going down. So I think, or just sideways. So I think just got to be patient. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe another couple weeks and month or so. Just let things range until they're really ready to break out. And go ahead. I think Traeger,
Yeah, my Soxel says just based on Elliott wave theory alone, it should want to go to $72.24 next, but it could take 196 days to get there. So that's not super fast. But that is, it's 137% higher than where price is in 189 days. That's my best guess for Soxel. Should I do ASTS?
Yeah, we got time for like one more, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay, ASTS Spacemobile, another space stock. Sure, they're competing with SpaceX, but they kind of do a different scale of stuff. And their chart looks really nice. Wave 2, it's going to, if it does what it did, a 382.236 1236 here back in the earlier part of the chart. So if it fractally does it again, then it'll go to 34.87 next, back to 29.26, and then the 123.6 is up here at 67.63. So feel free to take your screenshot. Let me just kind of pull down the fifth wave. There you go. There's the 4.5 ending at $105.99 for ASTS Spacemobile. It might take, looks like from where we are right now, about 220 days to get there. 220 days to get there. There you go. ASTS Spacemobile. All right, Matt, what are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking forward to all of this wonderful Tesla stuff. So I'll be focusing on that on my Patreon, on my morning live stream, and all the TSLLs, the ConLs, all that stuff. But if you guys want that action, you got to subscribe to my tier 5 on Patreon. So with that said, I think I got to jump on to my private live stream right now.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching us, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, Matt. Good luck.
You too. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.